back on Morning Line. It's our final segment this morning. Josh Horn from over at Social Security. So if you want to join us, dial it up. We'll get to as many calls as we can before the end of the show. And next up, Josh, is Steve. Good morning, Steve. How can we help you?
Yes, sir. My name, I'm drawing a partial disability and an SSI payment.
Okay.
And I'm considering marriage, and the lady that I'm thinking about marrying is on full disability. And we're wondering if I was to get married, would that change my income?
Is she drawing SSI at all?
No, she's drawing complete, total disability.
Yeah, I mean, we would look at the total household income, and it kind of just depends on how much she's drawing. If she's drawing,
she draws $1,288 after they take the money out, you know, for your A and B.
Okay.
She gets $1,288 a month, and I'm getting $770 on SSI and Social Security together.
Is this one of those cases where he needs to check it and find out if getting married is actually going to cost him?
You really do, and I apologize because I don't have my cheat sheet with me on that chart, because there is a break-even point where, you know, if you're making over this amount and it's going to count against you, and then you're not going to have your SSI anymore. So, you know, I hate to say it, but you really do need to call the office and say, hey, I'm thinking about getting married. Here's the two numbers. You know, what's going to happen to my SSI benefits? I apologize, I just don't have that cheat sheet with me here in front of me, but it can definitely affect it, and you definitely do want to check before, and then if you do get married, you definitely want to let us know after, so we can update your records.
Okay, let me ask you this. If we were to get married and keep our names, not change our names, would that have any effect on anything?
Nope.
I see what he's after there.
You're either married or you're not. So you know, whether you change your name or not. You know, there's a lot of people nowadays who keep their name anyway. So.
But the ultimate is not. It doesn't have anything to do with names. It has to do with the monies involved. And in this case, whenever there's couples in his situation that get married, it almost never means you're going to get more. If anything, it likely means less. So.
It's either the same or less.
The same or less. He needs to check. And it's not Social Security, I know, doesn't take a stand on whether you should get married or not.
Right.
But I can tell you, it's very nice to get married and live together married. See, that's where the change comes, doesn't it? If they're both collecting their SSI and they don't live together, but they get married and they're going to live together, then all of a sudden it's just under one house with these dual incomes. That's where I would see sometimes maybe you could make the argument they're sharing services so the amount they need goes down. So maybe, and I don't know if he'll do this, maybe you don't get married and you live together.
Yeah, I mean, that's
living. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
The bottom line is, he's not making much money anyway. What do you say, $700 a month? That's not much. And if getting married is going to cost him more, I know there's love there, and you want to get married, and I can understand that, and I respect that, and it's a shame. But boy, you got to look hard and say, is getting married worth losing that benefit that I have, a degree of it? Check it out and find out how much, and whatever you decide, I'm with you, sir. Let's go next to Billy, I believe. Hi, Billy. Are you there, Billy? Good morning, Billy. Hey, Billy, you there?
This is Benny.
Oh,
Good
Benny.
morning.
Hi, Benny. Go ahead, Benny.
Yes, sir. My question is, I am 62. I took early retirement, and I keep seeing the age for full retirement as other baby boomers are getting closer to 62.
Sure.
Is the age 62 for early retirement? Are they looking at moving that forward too, as they're doing on the backside? That is my question. It's
a good question. I was thinking the same thing. The other's 67. Yeah. Is that going to move early retirement too?
So right now there's no laws or official plans or anything like that. I think it's something that's at the top levels and the politicians have talked about, but that, you know, along with the many other things that they talk about with Social Security. But right now there's not been any rules or plans or, you know, anything concrete to say that that's going to change.
To change early retirement.
To change early retirement.
Really? I would think it would just all move along at the same way.
I bet. I would think that too, but no, that's the latest is that, well, we're not changing that, but you know, that could change tomorrow.
All right, Benny, how about that?
That is a great answer. I have one other question.
Okay.
Okay, since I have taken early retirement, let's say if my health does go down really bad and do I have the option that I can choose full retirement if I and go to disability if my health does deteriorate within the next year before I get 66?
So the short answer is yes. If you take early retirement at 62, but your full retirement age is until 66, and you become disabled at 64, you can apply. And if you're approved, there may be some reduction because of what you took before you were disabled. So there's a little bit of math involved there. So you may not get your full disability because you had some early retirement reduction factors in there, but it will definitely increase your benefits if you become disabled before your full retirement age.
Interesting. Good question. All right, let's go next to Tracy. Hi, Tracy.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
I've got a few questions. First, I'd like to know if you decide you don't want to continue paying for Medicare, can you have Social Security just take it, just stop deducting for it? That's my first question. The second is, say when you first were determined disabled, the judge did not pay you your retroactive from the time you first applied for a disability because you had worked 3 months between that and within that 2.5 years since you first applied. Can you have that revisited even though it's been several years later? And last, I'm just curious about prisoners. I heard you talking about prisoners earlier, and I wonder if can prisoners receive SSI while they're incarcerated? And if not, when they come out, do they get retroactive? Thank you.
Can I guess on that last one? No, no, no.
Right, and yeah, that was the easy
They're on
one.
the public dole there. That's a no-brainer. They shouldn't get it.
If they're in prison, and same thing with Social Security, if you're convicted and confined with Social Security, you don't get any benefits.
And it doesn't accrue, and you don't get it when you come out.
And you don't get it when you go. You're not eligible for it when you're incarcerated.
No, because we're paying to incarcerate you.
Yeah. So the second question was. Okay,
the retro pay kind of like.
So if the judge, sometimes the judge will come back and he'll make it's not a fully favorable, but it's somewhere in the middle, and you have 60 days to file for an appeal on that. So if it's been several years since that decision was made, you're outside your appeals period. And so unless you have a really good reason for not doing it all these years, then you wouldn't be able to appeal that decision.
And stop deducting Medicare.
You can ask for Medicare to stop. You need to be very, very careful, because if you ever start it back up again, you're going to be heavily penalized. And I've seen I've seen several folks who didn't want Medicare, didn't want to pay for it, thought they were ghosts in the machine or whatever else it was, and then age 75 comes along or whatever, and they've got to have it. And they're heavily penalized because it's 10% for every year you didn't take it, and so that adds up very quickly. So you need to think long and hard before you ask us to stop your Medicare.
Real quick, I didn't know if we get Chris. Do you have a quick question on line 4? Real quick. Are you there, Chris?
Yes.
Real quick, what's your question? We only have about 2 minutes.
Okay, I moved from a different state to Tennessee, and they stopped my SSI. I make about $880 a month on Social Security disability. I'm wondering why they stopped my SSI, what the cutoff was.
Oh, okay, from state to state?
Well, state to state doesn't, I mean, sometimes there's state supplements. We've mentioned that before, but you're right at the limit where if you're drawing $880 on your Social Security, you're not going to be due any, because it's a dollar for dollar offset. So, we can deduct about $60, but then after you do the math, you're just not going to be eligible for SSI because you draw too much Social Security. Another state may have been giving you a supplement, and so that's a lot of times where we see.
Oh, okay, it could be a supplement. And so that's because you're right. Obviously, Social Security is a federal program, but there are subtle fee differences sometimes between states in terms of supplements.
For example,
things like that.
California has a state supplement that they'll pay in certain circumstances, and I don't know what those. I'm not familiar with California, the specifics. I just know that they've got a state supplement, and then when people move to Tennessee, they don't get it anymore, and they say, "Hey, why did my benefits go down?" It's like, well, your Social Security benefits didn't go down. It was because you no longer have that state supplement.
So that's likely what it is. I wish we had more time to delve into that, but you can double check with the Social Security office, but I'm guessing there's probably, from the state she came from, something a little bit different that affected that. Josh, we had a lot of calls this morning. A lot of people. Maybe we can help on that. You know,
absolutely.
I mean, maybe next time. Well, you'll be on next month. I don't know if we'll know about the cost of living increase
Possibly,
or not.
yeah.
Maybe so. I'm betting that they will get one. But I don't think it'll be huge.
I
But
think
I bet they get one because the economy's going well. I mean, for the most part, and everything's gone up in price, and that's why they deserve it. So we'll have that coming up. But yeah, I think that covers it. Any last word? Just as you said, get online.
Yeah, absolutely. Go online, check us out. A lot of the fact page, the frequently asked questions, a lot of information on the website. So you know, you can take us a look there.
Josh Horn, Social Security Minister. Next time you come in, that beard's going to be down to here.
Okay, I'll see what I can do.
Thanks for coming on. We'll take a break. I will be back to wrap things up right after this.
Everything